Hi, and welcome back as I continue to tell my very non-linear coming out story. Um, and today I want to talk about something that's not talked about often enough, and it's coming out to myself or coming out to yourself and getting to that point of where you finally tell yourself exactly who you are and you just let it be so. So, what do I mean about coming out to yourself? Now, as I mentioned in previous videos, I have had same sex attractions for as long as I can remember. But I never conceptualized that as me being a member of the LGBTQ community. As you can recall in some of my past videos, if you watched them, having grown up an evangelical, I was very interested in being straight. um, So if I did things like have a girlfriend, that was very public because I have a girlfriend, and straight guys have girlfriends, and I'm straight. um, it's doing things like to avoid being noticed. Like for example, like right now I have my hair colored, and I know that's something simple, but when I was younger and I colored my hair for the first time. I really like how it looked, but I really struggle with people saying, well, he might be gay. Um, and some people did have rumors going around about me being gay. I think it was for the complete wrong reason. I think some of the people said it because I was into. I actually know a little bit about doing hair, and back then I would hook up some of my coworkers, and I did some hair, and that was bundled in us. He's gay. Um, And I can remember when I would hear those rumors, like I would go out of my way to be abundantly vocal about the fact that I like women. Um, Whenever I would experience a same sex attraction, um, I would disgust myself. I would feel so ashamed for being attracted to men. I went through that phase where I just hated everything about it. I really struggled to just be me. And a lot of things contributed to that. I've talked about me being race religious. I talked about my past history with trauma and many other things that just didn't allow me to just live the moment and just be the self. So what changed? Time changed. I allowed myself to have time to heal my wounds. I allow myself to take time to do things like meditation, to do things like grounding techniques, to learn how to be at peace with myself. And when I started looking for peace in my heart and for finding that spot where I felt comfortable, I started doing things like telling myself about myself. About I took time to look at things like my sexuality and I know this is gonna sound like crazy man talk, but like hear me out. Like to talk to myself about me. I had to tell myself, hey, I'm attracted to this. This is a turn on. Um and before that it was like a big thing for me to not like to try to find another answer. I would say things, so maybe I'm just curious, like I know that there are guys out there that are not they're not gay, but they have curiosities. I said maybe I'm just curious. Maybe I'm just not this person because I don't want to be this person. But like I said, with time, allowing myself to think, allowing myself to meditate, giving myself an opportunity to look at the world outside of the goggles that I was raised with. I had to be critical of things. I had to use logic. I had to analyze situations outside of the comfort of this is how I was raised and really view things for what they were and then view myself for what I am. accept the fact that I wasn't curious, accept the fact that I am bisexual, and that there's a very distinct line between a curious man and a bisexual man. Because a curious guy can feel an attraction. A bisexual man has feelings. I am not only attracted to men, I develop feelings for men. I develop bond with men. I am romantically attracted to men as I am attracted to women. That makes me bisexual. So, in that scope of giving myself the time that I needed to heal, and giving myself the time that I needed to grow, and giving myself the time that I needed to have conversations with myself to explore myself, I had to tell myself the fact that this is just who you are. And you can choose to continue to live in depression and not tell anybody about this and really just coast through life. Your mom is going to be comfortable, so that's good. You're not going to ruffle her feathers. You're going to continue to have couples, granted, only women. If I was to leave my marriage at the time, but that's okay because you like women. That was the option. That was the alternate option. But for me, it got to the point where I needed to be authentic. And I needed for the first time in my life to step out of the shelf and say, no, I'm gonna ruffle feathers. There will be people that will be upset by my actions. And those people do exist. There were people in my life before me coming out that are no longer in my life after I came out because they were so bothered or so upset or so whatever by me coming out. And that's okay. But I think the most important thing for somebody who, if you are me months ago, years ago, well, I would say about 2 years ago, where you're sitting behind a YouTube screen, you're listening to coming out stories, and you're asking yourself, why is it so hard for you to come out? Ask yourself, have you came out to yourself yet? And I'm not saying, have you told yourself about your attractions? You probably have. That's why you're watching a video like this. I'm saying, have you fully accepted the fact of who you are in your heart? Have you accepted your heart for what your heart feels? And once you can get past that hurdle, coming out becomes a lot easier. I'm not saying that it's easy. For me, coming out was difficult. I had to come out to my wife. I had to come out to my child. I had to come out to my mom. I had to come out to my whole family. I had to make a public statement because I wanted to live an authentic life about who I was, which meant telling people in my circle that I knew were homophobic or that I knew had different views. I grew up in the church, so a lot of people within my proximity were evangelicals. I had to make a statement where everyone learned who I was. But when I did that, I was sure who I was. And I wasn't only sure who I was sure welcoming of the person that I was. So coming out, yeah, it was hard. But I was able to coast through it. I was able to go through the steps. I was able to do the things that I needed to do because I had found a spot of self love, self acceptance, and growth in my heart. So, my takeaways and the reason why I did this video is spend some time with yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with talking to yourself. Sometimes you need an expert advice, and who's a better expert on you than you? Analyze your thoughts, analyze your heart, analyze your feelings, and just learn to love yourself. And might there be people that don't love you because you love yourself now and you give yourself the priority space now? Yeah, screw them. You're worth it. Love yourself. Accept yourself. Welcome yourself as you are. God bless you. Peace. Love you guys.